We are going to try and get this mower repaired. It's going to be a challenge because there are so many things wrong with it. And we're going to go through some of that now. This is the air filter on Evelyn. That's what I've decided to call her. She is a real big, heavy Craftsman self-propelled. It's missing the plastic guard, but I've probably got a spare around here. Again, this is the air filter, which is completely hopeless. So that's trash. And to get to all this, you know, you've got to take off the gas tank in order to get the rewinder off. Well, in this case, the rewinder had a stripped screw in the housing, which looks like this. This is the underside of the rewinder. That's the bottom of where the screw goes in on one that's normal. There's three of them. There's the other one. That was where the third one was. And what happens is the little nut that is on these right here, somebody will use a torque wrench or something like that and just have it turn the wrong way and crank it down, and they strip this so that this whole nut spins around, and so you can't get it out, and you can't get the rewinder off. So what I had to do was drill around that in order to get the nut out, because you've got to be able to get this rewinder off in order to get to what's underneath. And you also can't get the tank off without doing that. So as you could see, I drilled around here just to, you know, cut some holes in it so I could finally get the tank off. And I think I have maintained the integrity of the tank. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, if I haven't, then I've got other tanks around here. But I don't think I punctured a hole in the tank. So this tank will attach to the top of the rewinder. Instead of with 3 screws, it'll just have 2, unless I come up with a way to do a third. But that is just the beginning of the issues with this mower. If you're familiar with these self-priming quantum engines, then you'll see right away what is wrong here. And I guess before they stripped it out, somebody went in to try and figure out why their mower wouldn't run. And they look over here and they go, oh, I know, it's slipped out. And so this arm right here goes over here, and they think, oh, it's popped out, and so they reconnect, or they think they're reconnecting it, and they put this hook through that thermostatically controlled arm. Well, that is a big mistake. That's not where that belongs. So now they think, oh yeah, look at that, that's connected. That is completely wrong. This hook, this plastic hook, needs to be on the outside of this so that when it gets hot, it pushes this arm away. So this has to come off, and we're going to reconnect that. The other critical thing here is that he's missing the spring that brings this linkage back. There's a spring that runs from here to that little hook right there. It's a very fragile, tiny spring. But what happens is it brings this back. Let's say it's out this way. It brings it back to this position, which is the choke position. And what I mean by that is, see, the choke is on right now, and it's supposed to be because the engine's cold. again, this is in the wrong place, but when this warms up, this thermostat over here is going to move this way, and it's going to push the arm out of the way and open that choke. See how it's kind of opening a little? Well, it's not going to open real great or work the way it's supposed to with that arm where it is. So that's got to be corrected. I will have to find a spring, which I've got spares, that's going to run again from that little hook there to that little hook there. That spring attaches and controls this. Obviously this mower is filthy, especially around here where the air filter was. So I've got to reinstall the tank, find out if it leaks. I have checked the flywheel key and it is not sheared, even though the blade was bent. That hit something hard enough to bend the blade. The other thing that was going on with this self-propelled situation is the wheels have been stripped, the gears. Let me find where that is. I think I had one over here. Well, now I don't know what I did with it. Just wanted to show you what these stripped gears look like. There's one. No, that's not one. Maybe this is one. Well, where did I put these things? Oh, I know where they are. So this mower had two wheels on here and this is what they look like. Let's see, that's not that one. Oh, that ain't it. I'm still looking. Okay, here we go. See, the gears have been completely stripped away from this wheel. Normally, you know, they're going to look sort of like they're going to look sort of like that. So those nice sharp points, well, those nice sharp points are missing. They're gone. You know, there's a stub, the back of it, back here, but it's supposed to come all the way out to here, close to where those little holes are. This one's stripped a little bit. See, you can see, let me get over here in the light. See how those are starting to be ground off, and this would slip a little bit. And see, those are sharp, so that gear that's on this wheel, inside, under that wheel, something like that, that's just it's not gonna move it at all because it's completely stripped out. So both of the wheels were stripped. And so I put some kind of mismatched ones on here that at least had the gear teeth on them, and they are installed now. And the question is the self-propelled going to work? And I believe that it is, because when I engage this lever that controls the self-propel, there's a big spring right here, and that puts force on that belt. And as you can see right here, watch this. See it move? Well, right now, see, the belt is loose. That's pretty loose. But then when you clip this down, that belt snugs up and it turns the blade and the wheels. That's the point, is that it also turns the wheels. I had to cut off, you can see under there, the axle to these wheels and the self-propelled. It was covered in old twine rope. I cut and pulled with pliers and box cutters to get all that stuff off of there. And then I lubricated the points where that axle goes into the transmission box and into the wheels. So that's all been lubricated, okay? The oil is sufficient here. The level is okay. And like I said, I checked the flywheel key, and believe it or not, it's okay. And you can see that the kill switch is working all right, because I've got it clamped down up there, and it is not touching, so that's good. And there's a good gap there. I don't have to worry about it bouncing around and touching and killing the mower. I put a brand new blade on there because the old one was bent and worn out. But this has got to be corrected. So let me get a 1/4 inch socket on this wrench, or this drill here, and I'm going to get that off. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so bear with me. So here's a 1/4 inch socket, and we're going to back this off here. There we go. So now this will move, and we can unhook it from there. See, that's not where that goes. This is where it goes. It goes like that. And so it just sits here idle, you know, not doing anything except holding the choke plate closed. But right now it won't even do that because it's missing the little spring. And I'm just attaching this temporarily because I'm going to have to take the carb off and replace that. I'm sure it's going to be in bad shape. This mower's been sitting around forever, unused, neglected, worn out. So I'm screwing this in by hand just so you can see the operation. See that? So when this thing is pulled back, it's really not supposed to be touching that. So what I'm going to do is bend this way, and then I'm going to push this in just a tad like that. Okay, so see, if it's touching, it's not touching by much. Let me squeeze it just a little more. There we go. Okay, so I definitely see an air gap. See that? So now when this gets hot, I'm going to go and push that choke plate open so it's no longer involved. And the spring then, when it cools off, it goes, the muffler gets cooler and cooler. It goes, beep, 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 and it comes back. But that spring's got to be on there to do that. So that's sort of the story of this mower as of this morning. I bought this mower for, I actually bought 4 mowers from this lady who said that none of them would run. I couldn't get the cord to pull on any of these mowers. And one of them was real nice. I couldn't get the cord to move at all. And this one I'm going to sell later today. Let me show you how pretty it is. It's a cute little Craftsman 20-incher. I mean, look at that thing. Looks like new. And my cost on that was $10. And guess what was wrong with it? The family, there's a bunch of boys and the mom and the husband, they put too much oil in it. And I mean, a lot. And what happens is you put so much oil in it, there's no room for the pistons or the intake or exhaust valves to go, so everything locks up. It was totally locked up. So what you have to do with this one, it's a fixed chute, and I need to turn this mower on its side to drain the oil off. So I just unscrew those little wing nuts and get it off so I could at least turn the mower on its side. And I drained, half a quart of oil out of that thing. and got it down to the normal level, you still couldn't pull the cord, still locked up. So what you have to do is get you a, what I use is my thing I measure for blades. Like there's my 20-inch blade, 21, 22-inch blade. Get you a 2x4. You got the mower on its side, and you don't want to use your hands yet because it's you know, it's sharp. So, and you need some oomph. So you push down on this 2x4 on the end of the blade, and finally it'll break loose and start to move once you've drained the oil off. Don't try and do it with the oil still in there, because that's what caused the problem in the first place. And eventually it starts to turn, and it turns and turns slowly, then a little better. As that oil gets cleared out, it gets pushed away, and this mower smoked, of course, because a lot of that oil gets pushed into the combustion chamber and the exhaust. So it smoked for a while, but now it runs perfect. It's a beautiful little mower. Just had too much oil in it, and they thought, oh, it's locked up. It's not locked up from being damaged internally. It's locked up because it had too much oil in it. So, but this is the story of Evelyn. So let's get back to Evelyn. So when you come back, I'm gonna continue the repairs on Evelyn, and we're gonna see if we can get her running and see if we can get the self-propelled to work now that she's actually got some wheels with gear teeth on them. Stay tuned, come back.